What's up, guys? How you doing today? You rocking out with the one and only phillydom once again, man. About to go work out, and then I was watching a live from Chicago. For Boss Me, man. If you ever in Chicago, you don't even gotta be in Chicago. Just watch him on YouTube. I don't even know what I'm talking about. His name is For Boss Me. He talks about what's going on with the migrant crisis up there in New York City. Not in New York City, but in Chicago. Pardon me, guys. I got a lot on my head right now, but we're gonna talk about the protest. They just had a protest up there. I think it's called Gage Park. So shout out to Ford Boss Me for doing a live. Yeah, he went outside and he recorded. He did a live, man. It was cool. Watch, I got caught the tail end of it because I was already on a live, but I caught the tail end of it, maybe like the last 20 minutes of it. But check him out. Yeah, Ford Boss Me. Everybody knows who he is, but subscribe to his channel, give his videos a like. He's on the thumbnail. Um, Chicagoans are fed up with the migrant situation in their city. I think I'm gonna go to Chicago next after I saw that rally. I'm definitely get a chance. I'll make my way to Chicago. Supposed to go some other places, out of the country and some other places, but look like I'll sit tight and I'll go to Chicago and check out the migrant crisis situation here. Since I was already in Colorado, you know, might as well check out Chicago, man, and see what's going on. But yeah, Chicago is definitely fighting back. They're not laying down. They fighting back, man. Shout out to Chicago, man. They fighting back. They have protests, they have rallies. I guess a protest is a rally is a protest. But yeah, Chicago is definitely standing their ground for this migrant crisis situation. They saying send them back. They said a lot of stuff, man. They having the same problems. All sorts of violence is going on in their city because of the migrants, and they're just fed up with it, man. Once again, guys, make sure you get a video like and make sure you share the video and make sure you support my boy Ford Boss Me, man. Make sure you guys support him. Check out his channel. This guy's raw and real, and he just says it unapologetically. He just says what he has to say. It might offend some people. A lot of people won't be on the side, but he keeps it real. He keeps it 100%, man. If you're watching, make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you leave a comment. Right now, I've been on the live for 2 minutes. I don't see nobody putting anything in the comment section. So make sure you guys let me know you watch and say something in the comment section because I don't see nothing right now at the moment. But yeah, you gotta go check out that rally. It's on his channel. Ford Boss Me. I might show a little clip from the rally to let you guys know what's going on. But yeah, I'm on it. We on it. Towards the migrant crisis, we will keep it out there to let people know, man. I'm the guy in New York. Um, Big Hawk is the guy in New York, but Ford Boss Me is the guy out there in Chicago. In Illinois, man. He's on top of it. He is on top of it. And said, great job reporting Philly. I would love you to meet up with Jordan. Jordan Cash. His name is Cash Jordan in New York. And of course, Big Hawk. I linked up with Big Hawk. Me and Big Hawk are homies. We hang out all the time. We do videos together. I'll reach out to Cash Jordan, see if he wants to link up with me. I'll reach out to him and see if he wants to link up with me. I never tried to reach out to him, so let me reach out to him. You never know where his mindset is. Yeah. Yeah, it's Cash Jordan. Yeah, I know who he is. He do his thing. He do his thing. Make sure you check out Big Boss Me. Ford Boss Me. Ford Boss Me out of Chicago. Check him out, man. He's raw. His content is like mine. We just talk from the heart. He's just like a Big Hawk, man. Talks from the heart and he gives his opinion. Yeah, that rally was just like maybe like 30 minutes ago. 30 minutes ago, and I'm talking about it right now. Shane said, why are they upset when they voted for this? I don't know, man. You would have to go to Big Boss Me, Ford Boss Me channel, and leave my comment. But look at the rally. Look at the rally. The protest that they had. It was big, man. There was a lot of people there. They had a couple dozen people there. But it's gonna be on the news tonight there in Chicago. It'll be trending all over the place. But yeah, Chicago holds their ground, man. They're not New York doesn't hold their ground the same way as Chicago on this subject matter, man. Chicago, I always mention Chicago because they going through the same thing New York is going through. Just New York, we know it's more migrants here in New York, but Chicago has a nice little amount, and the struggle is real, man. So yeah, I'm just promoting the guy. Ford Boss Me, go to his channel and check out the rally video whenever you guys get a chance, man. Ford Boss Me, go to his channel and check out his content on the migrant crisis out there in Chicago. Anybody know where Gage Park is? I've been to Chicago a couple times back in the day. I worked for Walgreens, so I've been there a couple times. Do you know? Oh, let me put it here. Hold on, let me put his channel here for you. Let him know phillydom send you through. For Boss Me, that's his channel right here. I can give you his link as well. Dark Side 44. Hey, my guy. Good afternoon. Dark Star 44. You want to come on the live? They were asking about you. You want to come on the live? I'm talking about Big Boss. I mean, I keep my mind is all over the place. This whole live been all over the place. Ford Boss Me. They just had a rally protest in Chicago. And they was airing out their grievances and stuff. It's definitely something to watch, man. It's definitely something for you guys to watch. Okay, I'll give you a few minutes. Take your time. Because I know when you come on the live, you're long-winded and you like to talk. Dark Star 44, appreciate you. I'll give you a few minutes, not a problem. Get yourself together and we'll have you come on here and talk. A lot of people speaking highly of you. They're speaking highly of you. Let me give you his link to his YouTube channel as well. Been watching him for a while, man. Yeah, he keeps it real, man. He keeps it 100% real. Shout out to Ford Boss Me, man. He keeps it 100% real. There you go. Okay, Stop said I already follow him. I hear you. Awesome, thanks. I would check him out. Yeah, check him out. Ford Boss Me. We all have a different approach how we do it. You know what I mean? He's really more stern and more. I'm like more compassionate. He's more like a big hawk. He comes off like Big Hawk. He just speaks from the heart. I'm the one with a little bit more compassion and stuff. But he's like Big Hawk, man. He comes from the heart, man. He speaks on it. That's him right there. Yeah. So shout out to Ford Boss Me, man. Yeah, he walks around with his camera, and talks about the struggle with the migrants up there and all the problems that they're causing up there and the problems with the migrants up there. He's on top of it. He's definitely on top of it. He's that YouTuber to go to, content creator. If you up there in Chicago, that's the guy you go to for Boss Me. I apologize. I'm a little out of it because I was just on a live, so it's like, Oh, Stop said, I appreciate each of you, Philly, Hawk, and Ford. Thank you. Yeah, we have to keep this out there because the migrant crisis is out of control. And a lot of people still don't know. We had somebody on the other live that I did earlier. They didn't even know that we had a migrant crisis going on. Somebody was who was that? Somebody in the comment section was talking about they was talking to somebody in New Jersey and they didn't even know about what was going on with the migrant crisis, and they live in New Jersey. Like, it's crazy. So we got to keep, putting this information out there and letting you guys know what's going on as far as with this migrant crisis. So I'll keep doing these videos. Everybody knows I'm a travel vlogger. We talked about that yesterday. I did like a 5-hour live yesterday. We talked about me being a travel vlogger out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. But right now, some pressing matters going on, and I'm doing this type of footage. But I still will do travel videos and stuff like that. And I definitely want to get up to Chicago and check out the scene with the migrant crisis. I know it's bad because I hear Ford Boss Me talk about it. And also, I watched the rally and I heard other people talk about it. And then, I watch the news and I hear stuff about Chicago as well with the migrant crisis. NorCal said none of my business. Okay. And don't said hi. Yeah, don't said hi. What's going on with you, John? Once again, everybody hit the like button. We'll have Dark Side 44 come on, just talk for a little bit. I know she might have a busy day. I can't, consume a whole day up, but I'll have her come on here and talk about it and what she think. 'Cause we were talking about yesterday. We were talking about that people need to protest or rally, talk to their government officials and stuff like that. But Chicago is definitely on it. Chicago is doing it. The rally was today, March 17th, 2024. Sorry about the lighting situation. I don't know how's the live. Is it coming in clear? Because the apartment where I'm staying at, it's light coming in the back, and I'm just like talking in the kitchen. But I mean, what do you guys think, man? Is it bad? I'm just asking you guys. What do you think of the lighting situation? Let me know. It's clear to me. Okay, all right. Maybe it's just me panicking and stuff like that. And you guys know that me and Big Hawk do the news about what's going on in New York. The Migrant Crisis news as well is letting you know the situations that are going on in the country. Stop said you good. Okay, because it just seemed the light seems a little bit off. Yeah, but once again, everybody, make sure you guys hit the like button and share the videos. Tammy, what's going on with you? Looking good, young man. Thank you. Stop said our country is in a silent war. Yeah, something, something going on. My she said Chicago is definitely the most active in protesting in the crisis. Yes, they are. They are definitely active. They on it. They are definitely on it. Chicago is definitely on it. So make sure you support Big Boss Me. I mean Ford Boss Me. Ford Boss Me. I'm thinking about Big Hawk. Ford Boss Me YouTube channel. Let me put his link in there again as well. They had a live protest today at Gage Park. Anybody know where Gage Park is at in Chicago? What part of Chicago that's in? That's his link right there, man. Make sure you guys subscribe to his channel. He'll give you the latest on the migrant crisis out of New York. I mean out of Chicago. Out of Chicago. I'm out of New York. Out of Chicago. Shane said we ready for Trump president. TV, what's going on with you? She said phillydom. Hi, hello to the chat. Yes, indeed. How you doing, Nye? What's going on with you? Stop say, yep, I'm from Chicago. Yeah, stop. Did you see what's going on? Did you see the protest today? It'll be on the news tonight in Chicago and everything like that. It'll be on the news in New York as well. But yeah, definitely, Chicago is definitely holding their ground. TV, yes, indeed, said hi. Uh, Truth said, I honestly don't think Trump nor really any president can fix the damage right now, both nationally and internationally. Yeah, it's gonna be tough, man. But people want Trump in office. That's said. I'll still vote for Trump. Okay, I hear you. But yeah, we're in a tough situation, man. We're in some real trying times. Trump is saying deport them. He's going to deport them. That's what he's saying. Watch one of his videos earlier. Trump said he's going to deport them. The undocumented migrants or illegal migrants. I just call them migrants for short, but illegal, undocumented. He said he's going to deport them. So we'll see what Trump is going to do if he's elected. You know what I mean? We can't say anything. Nothing is 100% until he's in office. TV said, yeah, Trump, I will be able to fix all this happening right now, but we keep hoping. Yes, indeed. TV, definitely. Don't said, hey, Natalia, yes, indeed. The TV said, anytime you have military now and your train station, does this look like the problem is being solved right now? No. Definitely sure it doesn't look like it's being solved right now. We got Dark Side on here. Dark Side 44. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Happy afternoon.
Happy afternoon to you as well.
What's
Yeah,
going on with you?
nothing much, just hanging in there. I did a live earlier. I had a Big Hawk on there, and then I had my buddy Sterling on there. They was talking about they basically the main thing you talked about it. They was talking about with like Tyson Foods, how they going to try to hire migrants to work there and different things like that. That's basically what we talked about. But then I was getting ready to go work out, and I'm just scrolling to YouTube, and I'm subscribed to Ford Boss Me, and I noticed that they had a protest in Chicago. Chicago is really active with the migrant situation, and they aired out their grievances and they talked for like an hour in front of news cameras and everything like that. So I
Yeah, I
just,
had sent you the link. I had sent you the link.
oh wow, oh, God works in mysterious ways because I got it. As soon as I got off here, it popped right onto that. Like I did my live and then it popped right on. Like I was just scrolling a little bit and then it popped right on.
That's good. That's good. At least now I know when if I have a link to something,
Mhm.
I can just get it off to you, and then you'll have it.
Yeah. Yeah, Chicago is definitely active. What do you think is the difference between Chicago? I mean, I know they don't have the New York is swamp. It's a much more populated illegal migrant or migrant population here in New York than it is in Chicago. They don't have the numbers that we have here in New York, but they do have a significant amount. They're saying it's like a half a million from what I Googled and what I read. It's like a half a million migrants there right now.
Well, I think the difference between Chicago and New York is basically smaller migrant population, number one.
Mhm.
And number two, the cohesiveness of the city to be able to band together in neighborhoods and protests.
Yeah, because they definitely banding together and they're helping each other. But New Yorkers, they're not really. They protest here, but not like that. Not, it's not really. It's not really organized. Like I don't know why.
Oh, it's organized. I mean, when you look at the Palestinian and Israeli protests and
Uh,
things of that nature, it's highly organized.
mhm.
But it's organized by the left wing to be able to push an agenda
Okay.
that is suitable to them.
Hmm.
You've got groups like BLM and Antifa that are banding together to be able to bring about these protests.
Okay. Because they.
Whereas the people that are native to New York that have legitimate grievances about the migrant crisis or about crime in general, it's really kind of localized to them.
Okay.
These other groups do things on a national level, and they want national attention.
That's why. That's why, because yeah, they're not doing that with the migrant crisis. They're not doing that here in New York with it. It's just a couple small little groups that are banding together, but you rarely see it. But Chicago stays on the news for like they stay on the news for like protesting against the migrants, and you hear about it all the time. So I was shocked. I wasn't shocked when I saw them, having that rally today. So I know they're gonna have more and more of them rallies like that. But yeah, it's fun. It's a different landscape with New York, with Chicago, and Colorado has a smaller amount. I was just there in Colorado, um, and they seem like they just accepted it in Chicago. I mean, not Chicago, but Colorado. Just I guess they don't have the numbers. It's not they have migrants there, but their numbers are not super high, so it's still maintainable for them.
Well, they don't have the numbers, number one, and I don't think they have the crime
They don't.
the way that you see in New York City or that you see in Chicago.
Yeah,
So I think that in itself makes a difference as well.
yeah, they don't. They don't have it. And when I went to go there, I went to the one neighborhood that was promoted on the news and everything, and there was a couple migrant shelters there, but it seemed like everything was real organized. They panicked. I was there. They took a picture of me. They zoomed the camera in on me. They noticed that I was there. Like in New York, you can record and nobody even know what you're doing, but Colorado, they knew I was there. And the security came out. I was like, oh man. And I was gonna go in there and talk to him, and it was somebody in the neighborhood, a guy that gave me a lot of information. He's on a video, actually on a video, and he was like, I don't
Yeah, I
think,
saw the video.
yeah, he was like, I don't think you should go in there and talk to them because he's like, he said he was saying Colorado's a lot different than you think it is. He's like, He was like,
yeah, certain parts of Colorado are kind of like Texas, and then other parts are kind of like Chicago.
yeah, he was telling me that. He's like, they have this certain face that they put on the camera, but he said behind, he's seen a YouTuber go in there and got into a little debate with them, and he ended up walking out of handcuffs. So he was like, yeah, I wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah, but one of the things, if you notice during Ford Bosby's broadcast, if you look at the protests there, did you notice what they did? They had petitions ready for people that were out there to sign, get family members to be able to sign. And that was something that I've been a proponent of with these protests. It's one thing to get out there and protest and it gets your voices heard. But if you're not willing to follow up, if you're not willing to send a message to the politicians saying, it's not just me out here yelling and screaming, it's the community. And as our representative, you need to do something about it.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, they did have positions. Yeah, they well organized. They well organized. But like you said, they have to. I'm listening.
And that's what people in New York got to start doing. That's what people all over got to start doing when they have these community gatherings, when they have these protests. All it takes is a piece of paper that people can sign their name to and get behind a particular issue and let your politician know. Because if you don't start sending a message to your city council members, hey, we are not in favor of this. And if you keep doing this, you are going to be out of a job.
That's true.
You got to send that message cold and hard to them, because hitting them in their pockets the way they hit us in our pockets is the only way that they're going to learn.
True indeed. If not, they're not going to learn. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, they were protesting, but they also had paperwork for people to fill out to support the cause, to show them. And then I told people in New York, man, they need to go to their congressmen and their city offices and put pressure on them and email them. Because when you have proof with signatures and people backing you up, then they take it more serious. They're like, look, we have 10,000 signatures. We have 20,000, 30,000, 100,000 signatures, or a million signatures. People are complaining. We're all saying the same thing.
I know that Ford Bosby wanted to get up there and speak. And he couldn't, because he didn't want, number one, he isn't from Gage Park. Number two, he didn't want his narrative to be spun by the media. Yeah. Because he said he's already had eyes on him as it is.
Yes. Yeah, they own him because he's kind of really aggressive with his stance. I even said that at the beginning of my live. I said, I have a little bit more compassion. Big Hawk is more like, stern on his stance, but Ford Bosby is like, he has a certain way how he delivers his message, and he's right. If you're right about it, that if the media can spin it.
Hey Dom, you're cutting in and out.
Okay, you're right that the media can spin it a different type of way. When it comes to Ford Bosby, they could spin it a different type of way. Can you hear me?
I tell you, these connectivity issues.
Hold on. Let me try to call you back. Hold on. Man, the signal, man. The signal. Hold on, we're going to try to call it back. I'm going to keep it over here. Hold on, she's coming back in. Can you hear me now? Okay. I'll keep it over here. I'll keep the phone over somewhere else, because obviously the signal, I don't know. I feel like somebody be listening to it. As soon as we start talking certain stuff, the phone went down.
Hey, I wouldn't doubt it, but you could be getting RF feedback from your computer regarding your phone.
Okay. So it's on the side now. It's not, I had it like right by the laptop, but it's on the side of it now. So it should be.
You're getting RF feedback.
Okay. What about now? Can you hear it loud and clear?
I hear you loud and clear.
Okay. I'll put it over this way. So what was you saying? You were saying something about, we were talking about Ford Bosby and his approach.
Yeah, his approach, he's ex-military. He definitely has a different approach that's a little bit more aggressive than probably most people, and that's okay, and that's fine because it rallies up the blood in people. You know, because people can see him as a strong leader.
Yes, they can.
You know, I mean, the one pastor that was there, I can't remember what his name was. The one that did the initial introduction. I wasn't too thrilled
what he was saying
with what he was saying and his approach, but you know, I got to give him credit for trying to organize something to get done.
Yeah.
The people there have a legitimate grief with the migrants on the sidewalk.
Yes.
Selling food, smoking weed, doing drugs and stuff out there where the people don't feel safe. You know, the one thing that people got to realize about these migrants out here selling food is that some of these migrants come from third world countries.
Yes.
Okay, they don't have the same hygiene and cleanliness as some Americans.
That's true. They cut corners.
They cut corners. You know, they don't wash their hands. They don't even use hand sanitizer. You know, they're coughing and everything all over the food. They're not wearing gloves while they're handling everybody's different food. We had an incident one time here in the DFW area where they had, you know, migrants out there, illegals out there selling food, and 3 people end up catching hepatitis.
Wow.
You know, they're out there spreading COVID and everything else. And personally, for me, I don't eat from street vendors.
Okay. Yeah, I don't eat most of the time I have to be like really hungry or in a rush or something. I don't really eat from them. And I probably wouldn't eat from a migrant vendor, and it's not no disrespect to them or anything like that. In New York, I was thinking they was just, you know, making the food for the, you know, other migrants. Because I don't really see like local New Yorkers eating their food. I see other migrants eating other migrant food in New York City, but I don't know how it goes in other countries. I mean, in other cities.
But that's what they do. They don't necessarily, the migrants don't necessarily sell to, you know, Native Americans. They will sell to other migrants, and that's how they make their money.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily making it off the U.S. public as their own people.
Yeah.
That's the reason why they go around to these construction sites and they sell their tacos. They'll go to like different warehouse parking lots and they'll sell it, but they normally sell it to their own people. I had a woman who was from Venezuela. Her sister and I work in the same department, so her and I got to be really good friends. And then when her sister came across, about a couple of months of working there, she was in the break room and she was selling yogurt.
Wow.
And one of the girls, one of my other coworkers that I was really close with, her granddaughter works there. And her grandmother wasn't in that day, and she had forgotten her wallet, and she didn't have any food. So I was like, well, let me see if I can go in and get you something to eat. And she's like, oh, I got yogurt. So I bought her a yogurt, and I bought one for myself and everything.
Okay.
And it was like a Gestapo tactic. Every time she saw me, it was like, oh, I got yogurt. You need to buy my yogurt. I mean, and very, very aggressive about it.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm you know, a little lactose intolerant, so I can't eat a lot of dairy.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, I said, well, maybe some other time. I said, you know, my stomach's upset as it is, and I don't want to eat any dairy right now. And it was like almost like got in my face type attitude.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa, you need to step back there, because first of all, you're not even supposed to be selling things within the company.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, and as a, you know, a semi, you know, leader, I was like, you know, I had every right to go to HR and rat her out.
Yeah. Stop her hustle.
But it stopped it completely.
Yeah.
And then she ended up getting into an argument with another girl that was selling stuff. And
oh, wow.
It just became a whole issue of chaos. And then I had one of the safety guys. He would always buy yogurt from her. And he had said to me one day, he's like, you know, I'm not feeling too good. I'm like, dude.
Whoa.
you need to go. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You need to go home and go home right now, because if that stuff is starting to hit your stomach,
you're gonna be sick.
You're gonna be sick, and next thing you know, you and the porcelain god are gonna be friends.
Yeah. Wow.
And sure as Mott's made little green apples the next day when I saw him, because he works night and I work days.
Okay.
And so we were in the middle of that shift change.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, thank God you told me to go home, man. I went home. I didn't know whether to.
You know what to do.
He said, I didn't know. My body did not know whether I sit on the sink and throw up in the toilet or he said,
oh, man.
It was bad. I said, you're going to get enough. You're going to get enough.
Wow. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
So you really have to be careful with people that are selling food, especially at your job or in the parking lot and things of that nature. You don't know whether they wash their hands. You don't know what the hygiene situation is.
Yeah, you don't 100%. You don't know.
I mean, you look at certain parts of Mexico. I mean, they don't even flush the toilet paper down the toilet. They stick it in the trash.
Yep. Because their toilet gets clogged up. Their toilet. I was in Brazil last year, and that was some places they wanted you to throw it in the trash because they said the toilets get clogged up. So
they don't have the sewage capacity the way that we have built our sewer systems here in America. So, and then the thing about the yogurt, come to find out, I paid like $6 for the two of them.
Okay.
But they were pretty good size.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I happened to be in Tom Thumb grocery store, and I looked through and I looked over at the yogurt, where they have the parfaits and everything, and I'm like, wait a minute, they're $3 a piece here.
Wow.
So I remember going back to work, and I was telling another coworker who I actually just talked to the other night, and I told her, I said, this woman's out here selling them for $6 a piece when you can get them at Tom Thumb for $3.
She's making money. She's making
money. It's
wow.
all about that hustle.
Wow.
And if they can rip you off, they don't care.
No, they don't care.
Them getting money.
Yeah, it's all about them getting money. Yeah, so I did notice in Chicago they said the migrants are like throwing beer cans in the park and smoking marijuana in the park and selling stuff in the park. And then what is the crime scene out there? Because they were saying a little bit about the crime. I know they were shoplifting. I know they caught a couple migrants, the shoplifting, doing some shoplifting, organized shoplifting groups or whatever. But
the crime, from what I understand, was, according to Fort Bosby and what he was saying, there was a guy that had gotten shot on the opposite corner.
Yeah.
That was kind of a drive-by type deal. Other than the women and the children being catcalled by the men that are out there, selling drugs, doing drugs, the vendors that are out there, the kids can't even play in the park. They had one guy who sat there and said that he can't even walk his dog in the afternoon.
Wow.
Because of the fact that there's so many out there, that he's in fear.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. And then they have a shelter. He was saying, Fort Boston was saying it's like a migrant shelter across the street that was for the kids, but now they converted that into a migrant shelter. So it limits the kids where they can go to some kind of a recreation center or something.
It's a recreational center that's used in the neighborhood. Just like I have a community rec center not too far from where I live at.
Okay.
And it's got basketball courts. It's got a gym. I don't think this particular one has a swimming pool, but that's where I normally go to boat.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a nice little community center. They've got, basketball courts outside. They've got stuff inside. What else? They got swings and stuff like that for the kids. So I can see if they turn around and made that a migrant center and kicked out all those kids from being able to have summer school or after school programs just to be able to play and stuff of that nature, it would be pretty devastating even in my community.
Yeah. That's wow. Because they're using every facility. It sounds like Chicago is doing the same, like New York. They're using every hotel, that they can, talk the hotel company or owners into using it as a migrant shelter. Any office building, because in New York they're using office buildings. They're using every they use a psych ward, an old psych ward. They have a migrant shelter tent facility off on the property of the psych ward. It's like crazy.
It's Creedmoor.
Creedmoor. Yup, Creedmoor. Yeah, I went there and did a video. I might go back again and do another video there too. That was crazy. It's a psych ward. And if you look, it looks like straight out of a movie because half of the buildings on that property is abandoned. So it looks like Chicago is doing the same thing as well. And I don't know where they at money-wise. Like I said, New York, they over $3 billion in debt right now. And they keep it, they're keeping it quiet. They're not talking about it as much as they should, but they're around 3 million. I've been counting with them. They're about $3 million in debt, $3 billion in debt. I wonder where Chicago's at as far as debt right now with the migrants, because they definitely up there now.
Yeah, I don't know what the debt situation is in Chicago. I should call up my cousin and see if I can get that information from her.
Yeah.
Because it's got to be devastating in Chicago as well as New York.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then what's going to happen come summer?
It's going to be worse because now it's hot. More people will hang out. More people party. More people drink. More people think they can commit crime. The money's running out for the migrants, so the money might not be as strong now in these months as in August or September or July. So you never know. They're desperate people. So desperate people do desperate things.
And I heard through some other friends of mine, they're getting ready to load up some more buses.
Oh my goodness, you got to be kidding me. And we know you got the right information because you're in Texas. So we know for sure that you know what you're talking about. This ain't the news telling this. This is somebody that's been living in Texas. So I know news spreads fast in Texas. Everybody's talking about, wow, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, but that's the thing that is so good about social media.
Uh-huh.
It's people like you, Big Hawk, Cash Jordan, JRL, all these people who have boots on the ground that are seeing it firsthand and reporting it, getting that information out. That's what's important.
Yeah.
They always talk about see something, say something. That's exactly what we're doing. That's exactly what this was meant to be.
Yes, indeed. 100%. Yeah, because I'm listening. Hold on.
Like when I had that busload of migrants at the Whole Foods not too far from my house, I was living.
Wow.
I'm like, oh no, this ain't happening.
Uh-huh.
This ain't happening.
Wow.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm in the DFW area, but I'm more North Dallas.
Okay.
And it's just you talk to people. You got to talk to people around you. Strike up a conversation with a security guard or a police officer. Don't be afraid to be able to get that information because you know something? They live in the community too.
Yes, indeed. That's 100%. They live in the community too.
Like the community where I live at, we have a private security patrol in addition to the city police.
Uh-huh.
So we actually have the private security patrol, and every morning at 6:30, I got the private security patrol over at the Quick Mart, and it's like I'll stop in there to get a coffee or something or whatever. Hey, strike up a coffee. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. Can I get you coffee? They'll have a conversation with you.
Wow.
Find out what's going on in the local community or address. Hey, I've been having a little bit of problem with some people making a lot of noise in my complex or whatever. Hey, no problem.
And they'll tell you.
They start. I'll come through. You got to build camaraderie with the people that matter, and that's your neighbors, that's security, that's police. I mean, I talk so much to the employees at the local Kroger that they know me when I go in there. They're like, "Hey, how you doing?" I got one Kroger guy who sit there and he says, "Yeah, we got to go in here and change out all the shelving." And I said, "What for?" I said, "You just rearranging, remodeling the store." He says, "No, we got to put up these barriers so you don't have people coming in there wiping out the entire shelves and just walking out with goods."
Wow.
I said, "Here?" And he's like, "Yeah, we had one guy. And a girl the other day came in, wiped out the entire shelf, put everything in a bag, and just walked right out the door.
Wow, nobody even seen them. What happened to that detectives there? The detectives at the door. I know they got somebody in loss prevention on the cameras.
Well, you have to realize, like in my neighborhood, everything up to a point was very laid back.
Okay.
Like we didn't have like security guards in our store. Even during the holiday, we didn't even have security guards there or in the parking lot because we have, like I said, the local police as well as a security patrol.
Okay.
That's private security. Because a lot of places around here are gated.
Gated communities. Okay.
Yeah, I live in a gated community.
Yeah. So the threat is not there. Y'all didn't feel like that threat was there.
Yeah, and now it's starting to meander its way into neighborhoods like mine that are in the surrounding communities, and it's like we got to do something about this.
Wow.
You got to nip it in the bud before it starts. Let the people know, no, you ain't going to be coming over here doing this.
Wow.
You want to go do that in Dallas, go do it in Dallas, but you're not going to do it here.
Wow. And Dallas, y'all don't really. It's not really too many migrants there because they all pushing them. They all putting them on the buses and going to the states where they can get help at. Some of the migrants.
Well, there's migrants here. There is the United Methodist Church in Oak Cliff.
Okay.
That takes in migrants there. They get bussed in. Sometimes you'll see the buses come directly from DFW Airport on the highway. But they'll bus them to places in Dallas, and it's real hush hush.
Wow. See, that's the stuff you don't hear on the news. This is stuff you don't hear on the news. They won't never say that.
No, Oak Cliff is a very liberal neighborhood. In fact, it's the kind of the gay mecca of Dallas.
She said the gay mecca of Dallas. Wow.
But that's exactly where they're putting them. They're putting them in more of these liberal neighborhoods, so the rest of the people don't see them.
Interesting. Interesting.
But I have former coworkers of mine that live in Oak Cliff. That's why they told me where the migrant shelter was.
Wow. He's like, wow. So
it's the United Methodist Church down in Oak Cliff. Wow.
And that's where they putting them at. Yeah, because like in New York, they putting them in the hoods. They putting them in, they have them in Queensbridge is the projects. They have them in that area. I mean, literally that area. It's called what is it called? What's the name of it? It's called what part of New York is that? You got family in New York. What's the part of New York is that? City.
Because I know where Queensbridge is.
Yeah. What's that neighborhood called? The city something. I can't. It comes in my head. It goes. It comes. It goes. It comes.
No, because it's not. The City Island is over on the other side.
What's Queensbridge? What neighborhood is that? Anybody from New York that's watching? What's the neighborhood? City on Long Island City. I think it's Long Island City. Long Island City.
Okay.
Yeah, Long Island City. That area. Yeah, they have them all there. Like they converted like literally every hotel in that area is a migrant hotel.
Yeah, see, because I'd be looking at the hotels in our area to see if they, if there's any like buses and stuff in the parking lots dropping people off, things of that nature. Because there's, a few hotels like Holiday Inns and stuff that are nearby. They just a couple of other new hotels that they just built not too far. But these are just kind of, high end hotels, kind of like the Westin Hotel. I went down by the convention center where they have like Grimaldi's Pizza. What is it? The Radio Music Factory and stuff like that, where they have the concerts and stuff. And whenever I drive through there, I always check and see, do I see buses? And I look. That's all I do is just look.
Look, yeah, and you'll notice what's going on. You can just look and notice. And now I'm really scared now in New York because, I've been recording this footage for a while, going to the shelters. They probably hate me. They like looking like this guy's on us. Now in the hotels, what I'm seeing now is, and I did it in one of my last videos, is that they are covering up the signs of the hotel. Like before, I'd be like, okay, that's a Holiday Inn, or that's a Marriott, or that's that. Now they're taking down the sign. So I'm like, if you're like a 3-star, 4-star hotel, 2-star, whatever, 5-star, whatever, why would you be taking down your signs unless this is going to be for the long haul?
Oh yeah,
You know?
that's what I believe. That it's a long haul situation. They don't want the exposure because they don't want to be canceled.
Okay.
They understand how people can get behind like Bud Light, the cancellation of Bud Light, and how much people protested and boycotted against Bud Light.
Yep, you're right about that. Yeah, so they know now they have to, because they all covering up their signs, and this is recent. It wasn't like that a couple months back. Now they're all doing it, and like I said, it's 2-star hotels, it's 4-star. I mean, if I went on this live and told you the hotels, because I've been to them, I know the hotels what they are. Like, people will be really pissed, like really pissed. Like, one hotel chain asked me not to say their name, and to this day I still don't say their name. But we all have stayed there. Like, people can all guess. If
well,
you
see,
stay,
the thing is too, what you can do. Hey, Google Maps don't lie.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to say it, but hey, if on this hotel at this intersection or this address, you look it up and find out what it is.
Yeah. All right, that's what you're saying. Just give them the address. Yeah, they there. I couldn't, like, you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. Like, they've went from 5-star all the way down to 2-star or 1-star, whatever. People will be in shock.
And nobody is talking about the diseases as well. I know I mentioned it briefly.
Yeah.
But the bed bug crisis.
Yes.
Okay, there is a division of Amazon that does nothing but large items, meaning items like furniture and mattresses and stuff of that nature. They had to close down this facility in El Paso because of bed bugs.
Wow.
And then they had the nerve not even to tell the people, the employees, until the last minute that they had to close everything down and fumigate everything.
That's crazy.
Who's to say that those people didn't take those bed bugs home with them?
And bring it up to the hotels, coming from, wow, and bringing it to Texas and Chicago and different places like that.
France right now, in Paris, there is a huge bed bug infestation in Paris.
Wow. Well, it won't stay in a hotel there.
No, it's not going to stay. I mean, look at the measles outbreak that they had in a couple of the shelters in Chicago, and they're talking about tossing those people out on the street. Now you're going to have widespread measles outbreak?
Yeah, they need to contain them. Keep them in one hotel, recreation facility, whatever they have to do it. Just keep them contained so it won't spread.
Well, the thing is that the thing that really bothered me is that when these people came across, normally in a situation like this, those people should have been quarantined for at least 7 days before they were released.
And they didn't do that. Like, the U.S. went against everything that they do. Like, they should have had a place to hold them, like you said, for at least 7 days, maybe 2 weeks, whatever. Run some tests on them, see what's going on with them. Because they're just, oh my goodness, they dropped the ball with this one. They dropped the ball.
But they didn't care. That was the problem, is that they didn't care about how it was going to affect the American citizens as long as they got the votes to keep themselves in office and they can keep the palms greased of the people that were willing to do their bidding.
Yeah. Wow. Because I was telling them earlier on the other live that every crisis, somebody benefits from. The COVID crisis, it's sad. A lot of Americans lost their life. A lot of people lost their life worldwide. But companies benefited from that crisis. They were wealthy. They got real wealthy off of that. The same thing with the migrant crisis. I mean, the same thing with the migrant crisis. People are benefiting off of it. Companies are benefiting off of this.
Exactly. Look how much you take a company like Walmart, like Amazon, how much they benefited from COVID.
Oh, yeah. I have friends that have stores on Amazon, and they said they made so much money just selling face masks. They were on it early. They noticed the face mask situation, and they brought out all the face masks and sold it on Amazon, and they made a killing, like hundreds of thousands, like a killing off of selling face masks. How much does a face mask go for?
Well, a couple of dollars a face mask, it don't take much. Yeah. Most of the time, those face masks comes in boxes of 100. So you get one box that'll come in. it'll have 100 boxes of, let's say, 20 face masks per box. You do the math on that, and there's a box of 100.
Yeah, I know people that told me they made tons of money just selling face masks. In the early part, they said, after, then people caught on to it and other people were doing it, so they didn't make as much. But if they caught it like in the beginning or even right before they started telling people to wear face masks, they made a ton of money.
Look how many gallons of hand sanitizer was sold in this country alone.
Yep. Gallons and gallons. Oh, we can't even imagine the number, the total that they.
I remember being in Dollar General. I think it's Family Dollar, one of the dollar stores. And this woman came in and she's like, "Oh, they don't have any hand sanitizer. What am I gonna do?" And I said, "Look, come here. Let me show you what you need to do." I gave her some aloe vera gel.
Okay.
And I gave her some 70% alcohol. I said, what you do is you mix the two of these together until it thins out the aloe vera to you can run it through a pump. I said, and you got hand sanitizer.
Wow.
Because that's all hand sanitizer is. If you were to take hand sanitizer right now, put it in a container, take about I think it's like maybe 100, not even 100 mils, and you take regular table salt.
Y'all hear this, guys? This is crazy what she's telling us. Wow.
Take regular table salt and you put it in that hand sanitizer and you keep stirring it until it thins it out. You will see it separate. That the gel will go to the bottom and the alcohol will go to the top. It's called something that's called syneresis. It will separate. It will separate the two different particles, and it's nothing but aloe vera gel and alcohol.
Wow.
I mean, you can use hand sanitizer as a fire starter.
Oh, wow.
Put that hand sanitizer on a cotton ball, get a little bit of a strike from a big lighter. Let's say that big lighter doesn't work, but you still get sparks from it. All you need is a spark to be able to light that cotton because it has saturated with so much alcohol in it that you can use it as a fire starter.
Wow, you sound like a MacGyver. Remember back in the day, the TV show MacGyver, when he used to he would just choose anything and make something with it.
In fact, that's what they used to call me at work. They used to call me MacGyver.
MacGyver. MacGyver, like, oh man. Oh my God. Oh my God.
But you have to understand too that my background is also chemistry.
I know you said you went to college for that. Yeah, I remember you told us that. Yeah. God, like she knows a lot about chemicals.
Yeah, it's dangerous. I had an ex of mine and she had a little girl. She says, I don't mind you showing her anything except how to blow stuff up. She says, I know you like it when stuff blows up.
Yeah. He was like, dang, that was crazy. Wow.
Yeah. These are the things that you need to learn in order to survive.
Yeah.
You have to realize that my brothers were all ex-military as well.
Yeah, so you asked them a ton of questions.
Just the things that I would see them do. Like my one brother who was in the Navy, he used to take, because he gets cold in the Northeast. You live there.
Yeah.
In the wintertime, he used to take cayenne pepper and put it on the inside of his boots.
Cayenne pepper on the inside and what does that? Oh, so it probably won't smell. Let me guess.
No, it's not so much the smell. What cayenne pepper does, it forces the blood vessels to broaden, and it brings more blood to the surface of the skin, making you warmer. That's so his feet didn't get cold.
Wow.
And I was like,
oh wow,
man, what are you doing?
You see him dumping cayenne pepper in his boots. You're like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah, well, I thought it was weird when he put peanut butter on a pork chop too.
Peanut butter on a pork chop, and what does that do? Like,
you ever heard of a chicken or a pork satay?
Yeah.
That's all that it was.
Wow.
And and I'm like, look at him. I said, "You messing up my peanut butter." And he's
wow.
like, "No." He says, "Let me mix this up and let me give it to you. Let me show you." And he gave it to me, and I ate it because I'd eat anything he gave me. And I'm like, wow, this is pretty good. And it wasn't later on in life when I started doing cooking on my own that I realized that what he gave me was nothing more than a pork satay.
Wow. The military knows best.
Well, when you know, like my brothers used to say, I've been to some third world countries, and what a person may offer you is something to eat because that may be all they have. He says you'll learn a lot about food and about a lot of different things from poor people.
That's true. That's true.
You know, because we don't have a choice but to learn how to survive.
That's true. 100%. That is true. That is true.
You know, I mean, I don't try to knock the migrants for wanting a so-called better life.
Yeah.
But you need to make your own country better before you can start going someplace else and expecting a handout.
Yeah, that's true. And we passed the limit right now because, like I said, I don't know if people know. Like I said, places like New York, they don't have no more room to put nobody in. Like they have no more room, and they still have the homeless population on the streets. And that hurts my heart that you see, when I'm going around recording and everything, and I see the homeless on the street, and we have migrants in here. Because the homeless, even if they were crazy, if they was on drugs, people like to say, "Oh, most of them are crazy and they're on drugs and their mind is ruined and all that." They actually at one time paid taxes in this country. They had a job. So they paid taxes. And some of them even were I even met ex-military. And I'm like, how did you even get to this point that you went? One guy, he was a Marine. He said he was a Marine for 4 years, and then he got out the military, and he's homeless in the streets of New York. And I just recorded the Roosevelt Hotel, and they're taking migrants in, processing them every day. And this guy was a Marine for 4 years in the U.S. military, and he's sleeping like a block away from the migrant intake center.
You want to hear something funny? Do you know who Alex Stein is?
I heard the name before. I'm not sure.
I love Alex Stein. He's actually from my area. I think he lives up in Plano.
Okay.
Alex Stein, Primetime 99. He took Darius, which is like a comedian that works with him, is an older black gentleman. He took him to the Roosevelt Hotel, barged in and says, "Hey, my friend Darius here is homeless. Can you get him a room?" The security surrounded the two of them, well, the three of them, because they had a cameraman, and they were basically trying to shove him out the door. And he's like, "Wait, my friend is homeless. You give all these other people places, to live, but my friend Darius is homeless."
Wow.
And they were threatened to call the police on him and everything else.
Yeah.
It's only like maybe a 3-minute video, but it's just so eye-opening how they would teach somebody or treat somebody that way.
Yeah, that's what they do. Like, because a lot of people ask me to go into the shelters and the migrant shelter. They won't let us in. They don't let you in. And security goes crazy. If you walk in the door, the security goes crazy. If they know you're not a migrant, in seconds, if they don't know, they're yelling and screaming at you and they want to kick you out of there. I've seen it done. It happened to me. I walked like, well, it's a hotel. Like, oh no, it's not a regular hotel no more. This is government property. Or they tell you all sorts of stuff. Now the U.S. military, they're always calm. They're friendly. They talk to me. You can ask them questions. They'll talk to you. I got a video the other day. I went to one of the shelters at night to see if they were if they had the curfew, because the news, like, we got curfews on like 20, 30 shelters. And I went to this one shelter and I figured they would have a curfew at that shelter. And the military, they talked to me. They were real friendly. The guy came out, the officer in the military, he talked to me and he explained everything. He's like, "Yeah, we have a curfew here. Yeah, it's about like 1,000 rooms." He said everything. On the. I never put them on camera, show their face, because they're military. He didn't tell me I couldn't, but I just kept the camera on. But he was real friendly, the military. But the security guards, they go crazy. I don't know what they put in their heads or what they told them. They go crazy. They don't want you to do anything.
This is the thing with JRL. He was down in, I want to say, it was in he was still in Arizona, and he came across a public road that went to the border wall.
Okay.
And they were moving some construction material around. And this guy comes out and tells him, "Oh, you can't be here, this, that, and the other. This is a construction site, yada, yada, yada." And then these two women National Guard came up to him and said, "Oh, this is the construction area. And JLR said, well, is this a public road? And he's like, I could be on a public road.
Yeah.
So I had typed in and I turned around and told him there has to be signage, banners, or signals on a construction site.
Wow.
They can't kick you off if it's a public road. The road has to be listed as closed. I said, and they can't kick you off. And besides that, as long as you're 20 feet away from any construction material, you're not in any danger of being harmed. Those are OSHA regulations.
Wow. Yeah, they just, if you don't know the rules or the regulations, they'll use it against you. But if you know it, because even about the sidewalk situation, they give me trouble with the sidewalk. The sidewalk, they when I'm at the Row Hotel or the Row NYC, NYC Row or Row NYC, whatever the name is called. That's another big migrant shelter in downtown, in Midtown Manhattan. And they always yell at me sometime and tell me I have to go on the other side of the street. I can't record right because I record in the doorway as they're walking in. Like I'm on the sidewalk, but it's a lot of traffic because it's like 1,000. They say Big Hawk said it's like what 800 or 1,000. He was telling me there's a lot of rooms in that place, and I would they got constant foot traffic in and out, and I'll just sit there and record the people as they go in and out. And security always has problems with that. Always has problems with that.
They cannot keep you as long as you're on a public sidewalk. Cannot keep you from recording.
Mm-hmm.
It's a public sidewalk, and just like with me, I had one guy. Oh, you can't be on this. Same thing about a construction site.
Yeah.
I said, well, as long as I have safety shoes and a hard hat and a reflective vest, even though this is cordoned off, I said I can be on a construction site. And the guy wanted to give me a hard time, so I politely reached inside of my car, put on my reflective vest, put on my OSHA hard hat. Now you want to keep me off a construction site?
Wow, he wasn't ready for that.
Whoa. I said, yeah, you stuttering mutt. You need to get away from me right now.
He called him stuttering mutt. Yeah. Wow, he wasn't ready for that. He didn't know you was OSHA. He didn't know that. He didn't know.
No. And see, the thing is, it's all about reading about the regulation. I mean, my background is environmental health and safety. So I know what I can and cannot do. The average Joe is not going to be able to do that, and I understand that.
Yeah, they're not going to know.
It's getting the information out to the public. Like they turned around here in our complex, and they had this big, huge thing that was added to our lease about guns.
Wow.
Okay. You can't have guns in common areas. You can take your weapon from your apartment to your vehicle, but you can't have them in common areas. Okay. So, and I can understand, there's no sense of being in a bikini with a gun strapped to your waist.
Yeah.
But I had to go return because they had a fire extinguisher exchange. Okay. So I wasn't thinking, I was like, well, let me just grab this as I'm leaving. I'm getting ready to go and everything. And I said, I'll stop by, and drop this off on my way. So I get out of the car. I'm concealed carry. Yeah. And I go over there and I got to fill out the forms and this, that, and the other. So there was a black woman that was there, and she said, hey, you really shouldn't be carrying a gun out here and this, that, and the other. I said, first of all, I'm on my way out. Second of all, I said, this is not necessarily a common area. This is the parking lot. Yeah, I said, so unless you want to signify that this, parking lots are considered common areas. Yeah. then you need to put that. Then you need to put that in the lease. Like you can't go to the leasing office concealed carry.
Wow. Okay.
And I understand why.
Yeah.
Because somebody got a beef about their rent or whatever,
and then pull out on these people or show their weapon or something like. Yeah, the people. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But if you're walking to the parking lot, that's different. Or
people should not be afraid to take out their cameras and be able to record the things that they see.
Yeah, and the cops. I noticed the cops. When I record the cops in New York, they have no problem with it. They'll talk to you on camera. They have zero problem with you recording them
because they understand the law. They understand what your rights are. And I actually was looking last night into getting a different selfie stick than what I currently have because I've actually got one of those shotgun mics.
Okay. I know what you mean.
But I need one that has a cold shoe on the top for me to be able to put my phone and the shotgun mic on the top if I want. And I also have some wireless microphones. Thank you very much, Amazon.
I was about to say, go check with Amazon, or you could just go to Best Buys or Walmart. They'll have it.
So just get out there and record what you see. Don't be afraid of it. If you don't have a channel, send it to somebody else. Let them put it on their channel.
Yep.
Because the Dark Star 44 channel was the first channel that I ever started with, but I had another channel.
Okay.
And I got rid of it.
Why'd you take it down?
It was just some political things that were on there that certain people didn't like.
Were they like threatening you or something, or what did they do? As long as YouTube didn't have a problem with it, you should be all right.
Well, I think certain people didn't necessarily like some of the commentary that I made. And it's not like I got threatened or anything of that nature, but out of courtesy for them, I was like, all right, I'll delete, certain videos that I had that were on there.
Uh-huh.
And then it just got to the point that working as many hours as I was working, I didn't really have the time to keep it up.
Okay.
So I went back to I still had the Dark Star 44 as a backup.
Okay.
And if I do start doing something, I'm going to do it as a different channel and keep Dark Star 44 on as a backup just in case. Because I've already been threatened by YouTube once already.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Because they didn't particularly care for my comments and they were going to block me from commenting.
Okay. Yeah, Big Hawk had that problem too. He just got monetized, but YouTube he had 2 strikes. They're coming off. He got 2 strikes because something he said. He don't even know what he said, but he said something on his channel. He got 2 strikes because of that.
Yeah, they're coming down hard, especially now with this whole TikTok thing.
Oh yeah.
I just listened to what some of the Congress people had to say about why they voted the way that they did. And now I was kind of upset about it in a sense because they're going down that slippery slope of violating our free speech.
Yeah.
But also when it comes to national security, I can understand them wanting to protect national security as much as possible.
Yeah.
I have to figure out what this Confucius Institute is.
Say that again. That was a tongue twister. Confucius Institution.
The Confucius Institute.
Okay.
I believe is some kind of CCP institute that's utilizing all of the information that they're gathering from TikTok.
Okay.
To be able to get, it's basically data mining.
Yeah. Wow.
And they're using it, from what I understand, for nefarious purposes.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons why Congress voted the way that they did. So I got to look into this whole Confucius Institute and CCP connection to this other organization that actually owns TikTok.
Uh-huh.
And try to figure out what all that is all about.
Yeah, let us know when you decipher what they trying to pull a fast one on us, what they trying to do.
Well, see, the thing is, a lot of people use TikTok for their businesses, promoting their music, promoting their business, and things of that nature. It's not just, people just dancing.
Yeah, it's more than that.
Or whatever.
There's a lot more than that, yeah.
There's a lot more to it. And my whole big thing with these politicians, you'll get on Instagram, you'll get on Facebook, you'll get on Twitter to be able to promote yourself and beg for money. Are you going to go down the steps of getting rid of Instagram because you don't like it? Are you going to try to get rid of Twitter because you don't like it?
Wow, yeah.
You got to realize we have an election that's coming up.
Yeah, so everything is on the table. Yep. The TikTok is on the table. The migrants are on the table.
Donald Trump is a major stakeholder in Truth Social.
Okay.
Because you don't like him, you're going to turn around and take down his platform, his ability to be able to campaign, his ability to be able to get his message out. You're going to take that from him?
Yeah, that's crazy. Is he still banned on Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, all of them? Is he still banned? I know they banned him at one time.
I think Elon Musk said that he was going to allow him back on, but Trump hasn't taken that fight yet.
Okay.
If I were him, between now and the summer, if he is allowed on Twitter, go full barrel, just Twitter after Twitter after Twitter after Twitter. Just get that message out.
Yeah, because it'll circulate to YouTube, it'll circulate to Instagram, it'll go everywhere else after that.
Yep. There was a woman, I can't remember the name of the book, but she wrote a book on the first 2 years of Trump being in office, all of his Twitters.
And how did that book do?
I don't know how well it did on Amazon or not, but she just took all of his Twitter feeds for the first 2 years and put it into a book.
Wow, that was a smart genius move. Yeah. It probably did pretty well. Somebody in the chat, could y'all look it up? Maybe somebody in the chat can look it up. They can look it up real fast on Google or something and see what it does. I'm sure it did numbers.
You know, we as a society just need to stick together. We need to get the message out. Like you said, there are people that didn't even recognize that we were having a migrant crisis.
Somebody in Jersey today didn't even know. I was like, what are you doing with your life that you're that busy that, I mean, you're just walking down the street, getting in your car, turning on your radio. If you have a phone, you have feeds that come on there. No relative complain to you about anything.
I mean, if you have your head someplace, I hope it's someplace good.
Whatever she's doing, whatever that lady was doing, she's having a good time. Or maybe she could have been out the country. You know, sometimes people are out of the country for long periods of time. And, you know, you get absorbed in that culture or that lifestyle where you at, and you might not know everything that's going on in the U.S. Because when I travel outside of the country for a long time, people be calling me and telling me stuff. And I'm like, what? That happened? What?
I hear you.
Yeah.
But still, I mean,
yeah, it's a big problem.
Unless if you decided that, you know, you want to take a rest from social media, you don't want to see it, you don't want to know it, you don't want to hear about it, then, you know, I can see. You know, but this is something that affects everyday life.
Yeah. If they don't know, they're going to find out when their taxes go up later. They'll be like, oh, what's happened? Oh, you didn't hear?
I bet your wallet's hearing it now.
Yeah, but they take extra money out of your paycheck, and you be like, hold up. Did they take an extra $500? Wait, where did this come from? Like, it's been on the news forever. It's been on the news forever.
Forever,
ever. Forever, ever.
You know, and when the cell phone network went down and people couldn't get cell phone service and first thing I did is I turned on my radio to find out what's going on and everything else, because, you know, you don't have Wi-Fi, you don't have internet or whatever. So like I said, I turned my radio on, and people on amateur radio were talking about it.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, okay, that explains it. You got to have other forms of communication in getting information.
That's true.
You know, you can buy a small, which they call an HT, a handy talkie. It's put out by Baofeng. It's about $20, $25 on Amazon. You can buy that little radio, get a mag mount antenna, and you can listen to all the amateur radio stations in the area.
Wow.
If you don't have a license, you can't talk on it, but that doesn't mean you can't listen. You can listen to what people are saying in your local community, or as far as your repeater will get you.
Okay. And you said you had that radio. You was telling me that you had that radio that if all the power would go out in the States, you could still hear what's going on if people have that radio.
Yeah.
They said, what is it called again? Somebody, Pink Green, said, what is it called again?
It's called Baofeng. Baufeng.
Baofeng, guys. Baofeng. It sounds like a French name or something. Baofeng. My friend Baofeng.
It's Chinese.
Baofeng.
Baofeng.
Yeah. Baofeng. They were upset with me earlier, man. They said they called me a racist earlier on the channel. I didn't know what was going on.
What'd you do?
I cracked a joke. Somebody's name was funny, and I said it sounded like a Chinese exchange student in the States, and somebody got upset about that.
You know, people need to stop. You know, I'm Generation X. You know, if you didn't get cracked on at least 2 or 3 times a day in your life, there was something wrong with you.
Yeah.
They talked about you. They talked about your mama. They talked about your granddaddy and everything else.
Yeah.
You had to have tough skin. You know, now you get people that don't even know what bathroom to use. I mean, it's ridiculous.
We in a cancel culture. They want to cancel you for everything. You can't say nothing now. They're ready to cancel you. You can't say nothing.
I mean, you get people that are losing their jobs because they made some off-colored joke about somebody
at their job. Wow.
Yep.
This is out of control.
It is out of control. We've gotten so soft as a doggone country.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sad that you can't even. I mean, some of the funniest jokes I remember growing up were off-colored jokes.
Uh-huh.
You look at George Carlin, you look at Richard Pryor, you look at Paul Mooney and all those older comedians that didn't care.
Yeah. They was coming for everybody. They had a joke for everybody.
And it's true. And we all laughed.
Yeah.
We all laughed. But now we can't even laugh at ourselves anymore. No,
you can't. They asking you to spell it again. I'm looking in the chat. What is it called? The radio? Called again?
Okay, hang on. It's called the Baofeng Radio. And it's spelled BAOFENG.
Okay, you guys got it? Because somebody spelled it, but they spelled it wrong. I see they tried to spell it, but they spelled it wrong. Oh, my goodness. And I was going to ask you something else, too, about the protest. What else did you notice with the protest? They went old school with the little signs and all that. You see the little, they wrote them signs out and everything. That's like old school.
Well, the one thing that I noticed regarding the protest, just like, Ford Bossme said, he says as soon as the TV station came out, all of the migrants that were having their little vending, tables out there got up and went inside.
Oh yeah, because they know because like he said, if it was a American citizen doing that or a green card holder doing that, they would have gave them all sorts of fines and it would have been a problem. But when they do it, it's not, because you really gotta. They could actually sell that stuff in their little hotels or their little places where they at. I don't know why they sell it outside, because when you sell outside, like.
It's a greater impact.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. She said it's a greater impact to sell it outside. Yeah, and more eyes can see it.
Exactly. You get, the migrants that are going to come through. You might have people in the neighborhood that'll come through.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get, it's more or less marketing, especially if you're out there every single day. I mean, basically, what those vendors are doing is what's called guerrilla marketing.
Okay.
When you go to the grocery store and you see the store employee out there with a new product and everything out there, letting people test it, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's all guerrilla marketing.
Guerrilla marketing. Wow. Yeah. That was good in the 80s and 90s. That was big. With the different rap labels and stuff. They used to always do that, have their little billboards and their whole crew of people, and they would just walk all over the city and market whatever, artists or music they was trying to market.
I mean, when I was in the beverage industry, we used to call it mall intercepts, because we used to go into the malls and be able to, hey, try this product, and things of that nature, and to be able to get public awareness of a product that hadn't come out on the market yet.
Wow.
Along with focus groups was another one, where we would have a group of people inside of a conference room with a two-way mirror. And there would be a group of people inside this other part of the conference room looking at the people on the inside who were tasting the products, who were scoring the products, giving their opinion about the products. And we would just sit there and take notes. And it was all about process improvement, product improvement, packaging improvement, just to get ideas on how we can improve the product. That is what focus groups do.
Wow.
And these migrants that are out here aren't doing anything any differently.
Yeah, they just know they have to survive, man. They have to survive. That's why I said they need to hurry up. Like you said with the process, they got to speed up this process. And we had a guy earlier, he have a friend that came here. So this problem has been an ongoing problem now that I'm noticing. There's a guy named Sterling. He talked on it earlier today on the other live, and he was saying that he had a friend that's here for like 6 years. And still that had his court date for his asylum. He's been here 6 years. I forget what country he came from. 6 years he's been here working. They gave him his working papers, so he's working now. He has an apartment, he has a car. He's fitting into the U.S. system, but he still didn't have his court date for his hearing yet for his asylum case. 6 years.
Part of the reason for that is because the system is so overwhelmed because there's too many people here. The system is designed and put in place the way that it is for a reason. It was supposed to give people quarantine. It's supposed to allow people to have sponsors when they come over. But when you have people that are coming over that lie and say that they have sponsors and they really don't, now you've bogged down the system. Because now we can't find you. Because you're purposely trying to do everything possible to bypass the system. I know there's a lot of people that said, oh, it takes too long, it takes too long. Well, you know something? It takes as long as it's going to take for a reason. If you had started the process when you were in your country before you left, you wouldn't have that problem when you came here.
That's true. They did that with the Haitians. I was telling everybody about. I always use the Haitians as an example. They had them all stuck in Tijuana and on the Mexican border. They wouldn't let. That was when Trump was in office. They wouldn't let them in the country. And they had to do the process outside the country, and they waited a couple years, and then they slowly, gradually let them come in, as they did a hearing for their case to see if if it's a legit case and I don't even know how did the U.S. government know what's a legit case. I mean, you can't, usually when you go to court, you have witnesses you can call down, like a country like Haiti or Venezuela. What are you gonna do? Call there and they can make up a case. They can make up a story. And how can you believe if it's true? Is it authentic or are they just making it up? When they talk to a judge, you can make up a story.
And that's why you have embassies in every country. If they go through the embassy and do it that way, the embassy can gather the information within that country because, let's face it, some of the information as far as criminal background may or may not be computerized, things of that nature. I mean, what's the first thing that Haitians did when they got, the Haitian gangs took over? They let everybody out of jail and then they burnt down the police
stations. So now records, they burn down police stations. So records, they're not there. People don't know the records now.
So the only way that you can do, something along those lines, because you don't have that information, you still got to get medical records. You've got, conviction records, anything, education records. That stuff should be gathered prior to you even remotely coming to the country.
Yeah, and you got a good point, because now some of them Haitians that were in jail, they know they're probably still wanted in Haiti. What are you going to do if you can get a hold of a couple dollars? You're going to try to flee the country.
Exactly.
You're going to try to flee the country because the Haitian police know who's the criminals, or at least have some kind of, hopefully they have some backup record somewhere that they know who some of the criminals are. So what are you going to do if you're a criminal and you're a high profile criminal? You're going to get out of the country now, fast as you can.
I'm going to go someplace.
Yeah, you're going to do something.
If I was, whether it's not, coming to the United States or going someplace else, that would be the first thing that I would try to do is get out of the country.
Get out of the country. So, yeah, wow.
But being an American citizen should be a privilege.
And
I know
it used to be, look like it. I don't know about now. I can't really say much for it now.
I mean, it still is. I mean, to me, America is still probably one of the greatest places on this earth. And you have to realize that once America falls, we're done as a society.
Yeah, that's true.
Why do you think everybody and their brother wants to come here? This is the last place. We are the last, country standing.
Yeah, because if you go, like I said, I do travel vlogs. I've been to many countries, and everybody wants to come to the U.S. Europe is like secondary. Canada's probably like third or fourth. Australia, it's a couple other countries on the list, but everybody's main goal is come to the U.S. They want to be a part of the American dream. They believe they can make it here because they do have the most millionaires here in the U.S. So people see that. They see that.
but they don't understand, how people struggle here either.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, I told him it's a facade. I tell people that all the time. I travel, like, you'll see somebody with a nice car, a nice house. They might be 2 paychecks or a paycheck away from losing everything. People don't realize that because everything is so expensive. They don't understand that. They think they just see on the outside, you see on their Instagram, oh, look, he has a jacuzzi in his house. He has 8 bedrooms, but you don't know the mortgage he has on that house. You don't know other bills he has to pay. Like, if something goes wrong, really wrong in his life, he could be in a real problem. And a lot of Americans don't have a solid savings. Most of us don't have a solid savings account, like that they can just grab 50,000 or 100 grand somewhere hanging around.
And that's the thing right there in a nutshell that people don't realize about America is that everybody thinks we have and we don't.
Yeah.
We really don't. And it's not our fault when you've got the government taking every bit that we make, giving it to somebody else.
Yeah.
Or lining their own pockets with it, because it's all money laundering.
Yeah.
All that money that went into the Ukraine, you're going to sit there and tell me that the Ukrainian government didn't put some of that money into shell corporations that go right back to the Democratic Party?
Something had to happen. They was talking about that on Big Boss on the live today. They said that it was the biggest money scheme with the migrant thing and all that, with the war and all that, was the biggest scheme of money going on right now. I was like, oh wow.
You talk about the shelters. Who owns a lot of these hotels? Yeah. Marriott, Holiday Inn. Find out who owns those big hotels and how much money are they giving to the Democratic Party. I had to literally sit down with a congresswoman and show her that BLM was a grift.
Yeah.
And I pulled out my phone and I showed her. I said, look at all the money. I said, follow the money. Not that the money is not going to the Black communities to pay for funerals or anything else or child care. I said it's all going to this third-party accounting association that's giving money to the Democratic Party. The only people that are making money out of this that are Black are the people that are running it. And then next thing you know, 6 months later, the woman that was running it, she was buying 3 mansions.
She said 3 mansions. Oh wow.
She had one in the Bahamas, one in California, and I can't remember where the other one was.
Wow.
She paid her ex-baby daddy $100,000 in consultation fees. She paid her mother over $1 million in consultation fees.
That's crazy. What?
Yeah. Yep.
$1 million in consultation. What was she telling them?
Hey. My mother always said, you want to know something about a person, follow the money.
Follow the money. I like that. Follow the money. You want to find something about somebody, follow the money. Wow.
Well, like I said, she used to work for the Department of Taxation and Finance in New York State.
Yeah, I remember you said that.
Taxes.
Yeah.
And she was doing some investigative work in her office on the different politicians in New York State and their shell corporations.
Wow.
And the shell corporations were being run by specific lawyers. And I'm like, wait a minute, you got the same lawyer that's running this corporation who's the lawyer for this corporation, and it was like a spider diagram. You
couldn't believe it. You was like, it's crazy. Oh my goodness. You gotta see what Big Hawk, I call him Black Hawk. Big Hawk. He said Black Lives Matter rob the Black American community. He said the Black Lives Matter robbed the Black American community.
Because we fell for it. Everybody fell for the okie doke.
The okie doke, she said. We all fell for the okie.
Everybody fell for it. And now when people are starting to, hey, wait a minute, that ain't right. Why is America starting to wake up? We're waking up because, like I said, it's boots on the ground. It's people that's putting it on YouTube, putting it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Waking people up to say, hey, look at this. Look at this over here. You're not being told the truth.
Wow.
My eyes got opened a long time ago.
She said my eyes went over a long time ago. They still catching up. They still catching up.
And I'm learning something new every single day.
Wow.
And you have to. My father always used to say, if you don't learn something new every day, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, so you got to be on. You got to learn something every day. Once again, everybody, make sure you guys hit the like button. Hit the like button and share the video. Hit the like button and share the video. And this is Dark Side 44. She's the voice.
I'm all for anybody out there. I don't care how young, how old. You see something, take a picture of it, take a video of it, save it, keep it. You come across something, an article that make you go,
Send it out to people. See what they'll dissect it. They'll dissect it.
You have to. We are the only voice, the voice of America. That's the only voice we got. And I am a full-time advocate of that. Whether it's something that be on your job, friend's job, something like that. Hey, I went to work today and I can't believe my job did this, like Tyson Foods.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier with Tyson Foods. Give them your breakdown again on that a little bit. Let them know. My friend Sterling broke it down, but he's been talking about this for a long time.
My whole big thing is what Tyson Food is doing is wrong. Plain and simple. You're going to make Americans be without a job to hire illegals in at a lower pay.
$16 an hour.
and give them benefits that now Americans don't have. People that may have pre-existing conditions. People that might have been injured on the job. And you're going to fire them to hire these people? My whole big thing is, where is the loyalty to the people that have been working there 2, 3, 4 years to people that are coming in that have no loyalty?
Never pay taxes.
Never pay taxes or nothing. And you're going to give them a job and put Americans out of work.
It's cheaper labor for them. That's what it comes down to.
It's all that it is. It's all about business.
And they can't, put a war on an American citizen like that. They know that.
Because they figure, well, if we get all of these illegals in, we don't have to worry about unions.
Yeah, because they just gonna want to work. Like my friend Sterling said today, he's like, them people are just happy to have a job. He like, they coming from Haiti, coming from Venezuela. They've never even seen real money, so they just happy to have a job. So they'll take whatever. It'll be better than whatever they was going through in their own country. And you can,
and that's true.
Mm-hmm.
That is very, very true. But at the same time, when you get hurt, you don't know what the safety protocols are.
Yeah.
They're going to try to railroad you out of workman's comp.
Yep.
When you do get injured.
Yep.
They turn around, you get injured, you can't keep up with productivity, they're going to fire you. You're not going to turn around and say anything back. Right now, there is a backlog on the EEOC here in Texas. It's been backlogged for the last 6 months where you can't even make an appointment.
Because they got to get rid of, they got to go solve the other cases, get them under control before they can. Oh, wow.
Yeah, but see, you have a limited time frame with the EEOC.
Yeah.
If you have a complaint against your company and you can't get in within that doggone time frame, your case automatically gets dropped and you don't have a leg to stand on.
That's true. You 100%. You speak the truth on that.
And if you don't have a lawyer, lawyers will soak you to death.
Because they make more money as the case go on. They can keep postponing it and then we need this from you. We need that. And before you know it, you're going to spend thousands and thousands of dollars.
We needed a $250, just a 45-minute consultation, $250. Okay, if this is how much money that we're going to ask for, but we're going to want a $5,000 retainer. Then once you get the settlement in, we're going to take another $30,000 out of the $100,000 that we asked you for. So altogether, you paid out $3,500. Yeah, no, 30,000.
30,000 just to
$35,000 plus just to be able to get a $70,000 settlement.
Yeah, and really, let's just say 40,000. Just to be fair, 40,000 went to them because you had to get gas to get there. You had, you know what I mean, take off your work. I mean, you was whatever you had to go through to get there. So it's a lot of extra cost in there too.
Yeah, because that's not including court costs.
Yep. So 40,000, you walk away. Oh my
What are you going
goodness,
to do? What are you going to
60,000.
do on $60,000? And if you're unemployed and you get that $60,000,
It's gonna go fast. It's gonna go super fast. Yeah, because now you gotta.
You don't get unemployment.
You don't get unemployment because they know that he got 60,000. And I don't even know how long you can last on that 60,000. That's crazy, 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 crazy madness.
And the other thing that a lot of people don't realize, if you get laid off from your job or your job fires you and you go to get unemployment, they go through the discovery process, and unemployment starts giving you money after XYZ date. The company can go back and appeal your unemployment, and if they win the case, any money that unemployment has paid you, you got to pay back.
That's crazy, man. Crazy.
You got to pay that money back. Here you are thinking, okay, I got a little bit of a cushion, so I find another job, got unemployment, I'm looking for a job. Next thing you know, you get a letter saying, oh, the company has appealed the decision. All money that had been sent to you needs to be returned.
Wow. And they're gonna make sure you beat with them like $10,000. They're gonna make sure it's a nice little chunk of amount too. They don't want no little amount, so they know they got good money coming back from you.
And even if you don't pay them back and you find a job, let's say you work for 2 or 3 years and you get laid off again,
you can't use it no more.
That first, let's say you owe them $3,000.
Mm-hmm.
That $3,000 comes off the top of your new unemployment. They're going to get their money one way or
the other. They're going to get their money. Wow. It's unbelievable.
And Tyson Foods is a type of a corporation that will turn around and do that to people so they do not lose money to their stockholders.
Unbelievable.
I watched a company one time get literally run into the ground because of upper management and the things that they were doing, because they didn't want to move the company forward. They wanted to stay stagnant.
Purposely.
Yep.
Wow.
Why? Because it meant more money for them. They weren't putting money into research and development for new products. Let's just, cost reduce everything in the portfolio to get money. We used to call it hunger for money.
Hunger for money. A new saying, hunger for money.
How can I take a product like Dr. Pepper, cheapen it even more to get, make it cost less,
mm-hmm.
and then the company still makes money.
Unbelievable. That's crazy, crazy, crazy,
That's why,
crazy.
That's why the foods don't taste the same as they did when you were a kid.
Yeah. Wow. And
most of the beverage products that are out there are nothing but sugar and water and artificial flavor.
Yeah, they cutting a lot of corners now.
I read an article the other day, and I was kind of laughed at it. It says, "Oh, why isn't Snapple the best stuff on earth not in a glass bottle anymore?"
Interesting. Wow.
Why?
Why?
Because they went to plastic because it's cheaper.
She's thinking they went to plastic because it's cheaper. Wow.
And not only that, Dr. Pepper owns Snapple. Keurig owns Dr. Pepper.
Okay.
When Dr. Pepper or Cadbury Schweppes, who used to be the parent company, when they started converting everything from glass to plastic,
mm-hmm.
they were buying whole-blown plastic bottles that used to come in these big, huge carts, gaylords, we used to call them.
Okay.
And so what Dr. Pepper did, smart, before Coke and Pepsi started doing it, they started buying the blow molds.
Okay.
So they could just buy the preforms, blow their own bottles in-house, saving money.
Wow.
So instead of 300 bottles in a big, huge Gaylord, now I've got 5,000 preforms in the same container.
Unbelievable.
And that's how Dr. Pepper started making more money than Coke and Pepsi.
Wow.
And that's why Snapple is in a plastic bottle. That's why Mott's applesauce is no longer in glass, it's in plastic.
Because they can save money.
Yep.
Lots of money.
But you don't have the same shelf life, though. When you have something like Mott's applesauce, you used to be able to have a 12-month, if not 14-month shelf life for Mott's applesauce, especially if you got that jar of applesauce and put it directly in the refrigerator.
Uh-huh.
You could get 14 to 16 months of that same bottle being in your refrigerator unopened.
Wow.
They put it in a plastic container, you're only getting 9 months.
That's crazy.
Yep. And all of the food companies are doing that.
Wow.
And Tyson is no different. You'll start seeing the plastic that's on, like the chicken and stuff, will be thinner. It'll be a thinner film. The foam that the chicken sits on is going to be thinner.
Cutting corners.
They will cut corners with people and with packages.
She said they will cut corners with the people and the packages. Yeah, because they know $16 an hour. I don't even know which state could you live in. I don't want to disrespect what is it, Mississippi? Because they say that's like one of the cheapest places to live in the United States. But $16 an hour, wow, unbelievable. Yeah, that would only work with like.
Let me tell you something. There are companies right now, and I always use Amazon as an example.
Uh-huh.
Amazon put in a fulfillment center in Jackson, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody who went to that facility, their starting pay was $18.50 an hour.
$18.50 an hour starting. Jackson, Mississippi. I don't even know how much they would need to live on in Jackson, Mississippi. I just know it's a cheap place to live.
I think the median income is something like $23,000 or something like that. Something real low and ridiculous.
Oh wow, $23,000. Jackson, Mississippi. Wow, $23,000. So, say if you was in a household, you had 3 people bringing that type of salary in. I mean, what is 18? What's 18? What's the math on that? 18. You work.
18, I think, comes out to 36 or something like that.
36,000.
I think it's somewhere along in there. $18 an hour comes out to like a yearly salary of like 36, 37, somewhere along in there.
Wow, that's crazy. 36, 37. Guess they could survive.
That's why half of those people that went down to that doggone facility turned around after a year. They're like, I'm out.
I said, I can't do this. At least I can't do this. I can't do this. And like
I might be able to live good, but there's nothing there.
Nothing there. Yeah. He was saying that, my friend was saying that he was like them facilities, like they actually, he said some of them will pay for your room and board just to keep you there, because he's like, when you get off of work, it's in the middle of nowhere. So it's like, what can you do? It almost, and then he gave an example of me working, because I worked in Alaska in the seafood industry. And he was like, when you worked in the canneries or you worked on the boats, he said, all right, Alaska is a beautiful place, but obviously they're not going to have you in the nicest place. They're going to have you like, in the backwoods, or they're going to have you and on a ship somewhere in the middle of the ocean. He's like, after a while, yeah, you're making a lot of money, but it just, it wears and tears on you. Because I know when I worked in Alaska, a lot of people quit the jobs. Like they had I think like a 60%, 70% turnover rate. Because just the scenery alone with, the confinement of being on a boat or being on a land plant would drive people crazy.
And let me tell you something, with all these migrants that are here now, that's exactly where they're going to be putting them.
I say send them to Alaska. If they're going to be here, send them to Alaska. They need people on processing facilities on boat and land, and they make good money. And even if you don't speak the language, they make so much money with the seafood industry, they will bring in translators. They'll have somebody there just to speak French or speak Spanish with them, just to communicate with them. I've seen them do it.
And the thing is, with everything being so automated now, they don't even have to have on-site translator. They can sit them down in front of a computer, and they can, and just like you have text to speech, you can change that text to speech to whatever language.
Yep, that's true.
That's how far technology has come, where you don't have to have a physical translator. Like I have one friend, he speaks like 4 or 5 different languages. And he used to come to this one place, and he would just, his part-time job during shift change was to be at HR.
Okay.
Because he spoke 4 or 5 different languages. It's just to translate, and he just did that part-time.
Wow.
In between, like he'd get off of work, he'd go there and be at the plant during shift change. He would just sit at HR, and if people had a problem communicating, he would translate.
Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yep.
And now you said they can translate and just do an earpiece. They can give them an earpiece and tell them what they need them to do.
Yeah, because with the last company that I worked at, everything was on a computer. Everything is RFID. You have to, scan the item. It tells you the item on the screen. And when they do the training, all of the training is you pick the language that person speaks.
Wow.
And it shows up in the language that they speak to be able to train them.
Wow.
Like I said, technology is moving forward. And now, like I said, they don't need us as Americans anymore because the technology is there to be able to get people from other countries who don't speak the language to still do the job for less money.
So they can save money. Yeah, because the American citizens are hip to it and they're not going for it. They're not going for it. And you can't because you can't survive. You can't.
You can't, you get tired, you get burnt out standing up on your feet for 10 hours a day on concrete. Getting only 2 30-minute breaks a day.
I remember them days. Oh, wow. He said 30-minute breaks. Yeah.
You get, and then it's like you get, maybe the break room isn't right where you're at. You got to go way over on the other side of the building to go to a break room. Now you've spent 10 minutes
walking,
going back and forth. Now you got to go to the bathroom, wash your hands, eat food, turn around and run back and make sure you're not punching in late. Because if you punch in late, you get deducted, 15 minutes for every, I think it was 10 minutes for every minute that you were late punching in.
Wow. So then that paycheck on Friday don't look right like it was supposed to look.
Yep.
Wow. Some people say they're going to. What'd you say?
I said that takes away from productivity.
Yep.
Everything is about the numbers. And they figure there's enough of those people that are illegally in this country that they could just run through them.
Yep. Because they're going to need money. Because like I said, some of them came here, they always brag about how they walk from here and there to get here. But they owe relatives and friends and families and gangsters, whoever paid it. They owe somebody back home. They got a mom, they got a brother, sister, cousin, somebody that they got to send money back home to eventually. That's the goal for them to come here. When their goal is to come to the U.S. is to make money to send back. Were you the one that was telling me about Mexico? That 60% of the money or they make here, they all send to Mexico. 60 was you was one telling me that? Somebody told me that. With Mexico, most of the money is going back to Mexico.
The cartels have their finger in everything. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, that even with all the drugs that's being sold, the prostitution, like they were talking about the Dominican woman that was acting as a madam down in Florida, and she was getting people, Venezuelans that were coming in
New York,
to Florida, and she was flying them all over the different places, and they're flying for free.
Yeah,
and they had to pay this madam $3,000 a week.
Wow. So I'm imagining how much money was they making if they paid the madam $3,000 a week. How much?
Man, that's a lot of clam, man.
Somebody was on payday. Golly. And flights, I mean, it ain't cheap.
How much the price of hookers going up, man?
They must have went through the roof now. That's crazy. They got to go back and they were flying them from New York down there. So they got to have a hotel somewhere to stay. They got to fly to Florida. Florida ain't cheap. Stay there for whatever time. Leave. Pay the lady $3,000. Wow. Yeah, somebody making money.
The thing is, the migrants have a basically like an easy pass almost.
Yeah.
They get this pass from the federal government where they can fly wherever they want. They're not paying for airfare. We're paying for it.
See, that's another thing that the news don't talk about. They don't really take. They'll say, oh, if they don't like New York, they can fly to Miami, and they'll give them a free flight to Miami. But see, now you're telling me that they can fly to Miami. Say they go to Miami and they say, I don't like Miami. They can use their little ID and then fly back to New York or LA or wherever until they find the right fit for them.
There's a sheriff, Sheriff Grady, I believe is his name.
Uh-huh.
He just recently did a press conference, him and Ron DeSantis, and he goes through it step by step on how these people are moving around. He busted over 228 people in this human trafficking ring in Florida.
Yeah, because that's the biggest thing now: the trafficking. Yep. And the drugs, the trafficking rings and the drugs. Because now they can move people around because they're just letting anybody in the border. And they can give them a whole story. The cartels say, tell them this. If the Border Patrol asks you this, you tell them this. If they ask you this, you say that. If they say this, you say that. If you say that, you say that.
Yep.
As long as it gets you in the border, gets you through, that's what counts.
Yep. That's all that counts.
Wow.
And the American people is paying for it.
Wow.
When you have the federal government that is giving out $45 million to Catholic charities in Arizona, well, throughout the Catholic Charities organization, as giving these to these NGOs, what do you think is going to happen?
Wow, unbelievable.
It's just, my heart goes out to my country. It really does.
Yeah, this is a sad time.
I have never seen it like this.
Yeah, and my whole 40-something years on this earth, I've never seen it like this. It's the COVID, that was like, first, I remember the 9/11. I was like, wow, that's horrible. That's a bad thing. Then COVID, when they grounded airlines and airports and everything, that was like through the whole world, not just the U.S. That blew my mind. And then now they got the migrant crisis. I'm like, now they just letting people on the border. So what do we got our border patrol guys there for? What are they getting paid for? You're not letting them do their job. You're not letting them do their job.
No, they just feel like they're a glorified Uber service.
Yeah, wow.
Like you said, when you talk about the things that have happened in your life.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid the gas shortages of the 70s, where when they were rationing gasoline. I was a little kid, and if your license plate ended in an odd number, you could get gas on this day. If it ended in an even number, you went on this day. And that to me as a kid, hey, I don't drive, but I'm listening to my parents complain about gas and this, that, and the other. So when you think about going through the 70s and 80s, when you talk about the drug crisis with the cocaine and the crack and things of that nature, you had movies like New Jack City, and it opened your eyes to things, and you're like, wow, I can't believe the drugs are getting that bad. Because see, I was a real little kid in the 60s when they were starting having a lot of the heroin problem. But a lot of that heroin was coming from Vietnam, coming from Korea, and coming from different places because the soldiers were bringing it back.
Wow. Yeah, they had that one movie. What's the guy out of New York? What's his name? Frank, whatever his name is, Frank something. But his cousin was in the military at that time. That's how they got so big. And he was bringing it back to the States.
I mean, heck, even when I was selling drugs, I was actually getting it from the Dominican Republic, but that's neither here nor there.
You tell me where your connect came from? She said my connect was from the Dominican Republic. Oh, my God.
But when you look at the 2000s, when you had the first,
shout out to TMI Santiago. We see you. Yeah.
You look at the first bombing of the Trade Center, it was like, oh, wow, a terrorist attack. On our soil.
Yeah, that was shocking. That was surreal,
but it didn't bring down the whole towers. Then when the towers got hit the second time and it came down.
Yeah, that was 93. The first one was like 92, 93.
It was like 92.
Yeah, I was in high school. I remember it. They was like, it was a big deal. We was in high school. They was like, yo, guess what happened?
And then you look at later on in 99, 2001.
Yeah.
It happened again. This time it brought the city to its knees.
Yeah.
I remember that day like it was yesterday.
Me too. I still remember it. Like, even when I get on planes today, I still remember that. I'm always watching everybody on the plane. I'm still like in panic mode, like watching. I don't even care about the plane flying. I'm worrying about who's on there, if I'm gonna have to break somebody's arm or something on this plane. That's what you're thinking.
I know.
Yeah.
I was doing a lot of. I was just starting to do a lot of business travel back then.
Uh-huh.
I was traveling back and forth for work, and I'm like, please don't have to make me take a pencil and put it in somebody's eye.
Pencil in somebody's eye on this plane.
Please.
Yeah,
because you couldn't take anything. You couldn't take anything on the plane.
Yeah, people were shook. I mean, the aviation took a hit for like years after that. People don't realize that nobody was flying. People was driving. Like, I got to go to Miami. Like, I'm gonna just drive. I'm like, what?
And like you said, when it got to something like COVID,
yeah, then that hit me.
How it changed. And that changed everybody's world.
Yeah.
I had two relatives of mine that died during both of those tragedies, during the beginning of COVID and then on 9/11.
Wow.
And it's just like, what else is going to happen next? I had a nephew that got shot and killed by a migrant back when he was in the early, I want to say, 80. See, I came in 84, 86, 87.
86, 87. Wow.
Yep. And I'm like, what else is going to happen to this country?
And then now they opening the borders, and I'm like, I didn't see this one coming. I mean, I heard about. I mean, people were complaining about this and that, but I didn't never see a free fall like this. I ain't never see this. You said it's 11 million in the last 2 years.
We were inundated so bad in Texas that like certain places like El Paso, San Antonio, you didn't go out at night.
Oh wow.
I mean, if you look at places like El Paso at night, it's like a ghost town.
Wow. Because
people were afraid to go out any place at night because of the fact there was so many illegals coming across the border that you didn't know whether you were going to get mugged, stabbed, or this, that, and the other.
Wow.
And then we had let's not forget Hurricane Katrina.
Yep, that's another one. See, I mean, I forgot about that one. That's another one.
All those influxes of people coming from Louisiana, where'd they go?
Texas.
And a lot of them never left. They're still down there in Houston, or they came up here to the DFW area, Fort Worth, Dallas. And I mean, just one more thing after another. Storm Sandy in the Northeast that killed all those people.
Yeah. Wow. Somebody got a question for you.
I looked at all those things in my lifetime.
Yeah, in your lifetime. So, I mean, that's crazy. They asking, how does legals get jobs? Highland said, how does legals get jobs?
How do illegals get jobs?
I mean, legal jobs or illegal jobs? They can always work under the table.
Well, you have a lot of companies that will help, like, because they ask you the question on their application, are you going to need sponsorship for this, for this position? You have to answer yes or no. There are some companies that will actually help you with sponsorship.
Shout out to you, Fresh.
And getting legal documentation to work for their company. And they are paid for, and it's paid for by the government.
So they're getting help. One hand washes the other. You're legal, you need the job. The company say, I'll help you get all your paperwork. I'll get your documents in order. We got lawyers. We got personal people to help you with your paperwork. We'll get you working. And then in return, you work for us.
And with this one particular company I know of, they offer classes at the end of shift that offers classes as English as a second language.
Wow.
And they offer it for free.
Yeah. That's what I would tell any migrant.
I said to him one time, I said, why can't you get a Spanish as a second language for free?
Yeah, no, they don't do that.
No, they wouldn't do that. And I was a trainer.
Wow.
I was training new employees. I said, instead of just having English as a second language, maybe it would help the trainers that are here to have Spanish as a second language to be able to help communicate.
Wow.
No. They didn't want to do that.
Wow. Unbelievable. Yeah, this is crazy. I think I'm in the live soon, man. We've been on for a while. Wow. I've been on. This was a nice live once again.
I hear you, my friend.
Yeah. We'll all talk.
Go do something.
Yeah, we'll all talk later. I might do another one later on tonight. But I'm gonna take a break for now because I've been doing lives all day. Wow. I didn't realize it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's 5 p.m. Wow.
Yeah, say hello to Big Hawk for me when you see him.
Yeah, I'll tell Big Hawk. We'll give you a shout out on the next live. We're gonna give you a big shout out when we're together, definitely. But I tell him, yeah, when I see him, I tell him. He said, matter of fact, I might put you on the phone with him off YouTube. Like I'll call him when I'm with you. You can talk with him.
All right, man.
Yeah. So everybody take.
Here and stand out on the corner and beg for money.
She said I'm gonna go out and stand on the corner and beg for money. Oh God.
Red's doing a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Hey, everybody else is doing it, but why not me?
Yeah, they're getting that hustle. You see the migrants getting that hustle on.
Go out there with a sign. We'll kidnap your ex for $50.
Oh man.
All right, brother. You have a good afternoon.
All right.
See what trouble I can get into, and I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later. Oh man, that's funny.
All right, I'm out.
I'm out too.